Chapter 0, Lesson 6, the percent proportion. All right, so the first thing we're going to look at is what is a percent? And a percent is just a ratio that compares a number to 100. And so it's that number, usually we put it over 100 as a fraction. Okay, so if we want to turn a percent into a fraction, we put the number over 100 and simplify. So if I have 82%, I put 82 over 100 and simplify 41 over 50. Alright, so let's look at some examples. So again, 79%, 79 over 100, and it cannot be simplified. 107%, even if it's bigger than 100, I put it over 100. Now I can also change that to a mixed number and make it 1 and 7 100ths, but it cannot be simplified. Either of these answers would be correct, a mixed number or an improper fraction. Okay, if I have 0.5%, I put 0.5 over 100. Now, this is not correct because I don't want to leave a decimal in my fraction. So I'm going to take this decimal right here, and I'm going to move it all the way to the right. And I moved it how many places? Just one place. So I'm going to take this decimal after the 100 and move it one place to the right, and this equals 5 over, now 1,000. And I simplify that, and I get 1 over 200. Okay, so the percent proportion is when I'm looking for like the percent of a number, or I know the percent of something equals something else, and I want to try to find that missing part. So a percent proportion looks like this. It says A over B equals P over 100. Alright, so this 100 will always go there. The P is the number that has the percent sign. So if there isn't a number with the percent sign, you'll put the P there. But the P is always going to be the number with the percent sign. The A is what we're going to call the part, and the B is what we're going to call the whole. So we always have a whole something, and then a percentage is always like a part of it. So a little hint when you're trying to plug those numbers in. The number that follows the word of. So when you see percent of, that number that follows of is always the whole. Okay, and we'll look at some examples. So let's look at this first example. 40% of 30 is what number? So again, I'm going to use A over B equals P over 100. So I'm going to look for that word of. Here it is. The number that follows it is 30. So that means that 30 is the whole. It goes under the fraction as the B. And then the percentage is right here, 40% over 100. And then what number? That's going to be the A. That's the part that I'm looking for. Now to solve a percent, I cross multiply. So I do A times 100 and get 100A. I do 40 times 30 and get 1200. I solve that proportion. I set them equal to each other. Divide both sides by 100, and 12 equals A. Alright, let's do the same thing over here. 67.5 is 75% of what number? So I have A over B equals P over 100. This is always going to be a 100 right here. So I always like to look for the percent first because that's easiest. So 75, that's the percent, goes over 100. And then I look for that word of. And what comes next? What number? Well, that means that that's the part that's missing. So the whole is the part that's missing is the B. And then the 67.5 must go here. And then I cross multiply to solve my proportion. So I get 75B equals 6750. I divide both sides by 75, and I get B equals 90. And let's look at one more example where our percent is what's missing. So again, blank equals blank over 100, but it says what percent? So that means that this is the missing part, the P. So again, look for that word of. Here's of 48. So 48 goes for the whole, and the other number goes up here for the part. So again, I'm going to cross multiply. So I get 48P equals 3,000. I divide both sides by 48, and P equals 62.5.